Good morning, everybody. So Jared Velasquez here. I figured today we're going to start off with learning the basics. Before we get to the basics of the basics, and learn by how to wrap our hands. I've noticed a lot of people come into the gym and they don't know how to wrap their hands, or they go on the internet and they try and find different ways of wrapping their hands from different types of MMA artists, whatever. But I figured I might show one of the authentic styles of how to wrap your hands in boxing. Now, I've been boxing for 10 years now, just a little over 10 years now, and I think I have a little bit of experience as to what you want to know when you're actually wrapping your hands, and what you want to feel, and how you want the wrapping of the hands to look like at the end, and how they should look like after your workout as well, how your hands should feel, everything else. So here's a basic set of wraps. Before we get into it, first you got to know what you want to buy, what types of wraps you need to get. There's mainly two different types of wraps that you want, or that are out there in the market. The first one is called cotton wraps. Those ones have no give, there's no elasticity in them, and that's not the type of bands or wraps that you want for your hands at all, just because they don't have any give. Your hand, as it goes through the motions of a punch, it opens and closes. The knuckles stretch and contract as you throw your punches. So a lot of times punches will, before you even throw your punch, your hand is relatively loose. The second you throw a punch and you land that, you feel lots of tension in your wrist and in your knuckles. So to kind of avoid that, you want to get what's called a Mexican wrap or elastic wraps. Those, you can look around for them. You normally want it for an adult, you want about 180-inch wraps. They also sell them in 120 inches. Those are really just for youth or small children. So let's get to wrapping the hands. Whenever you open your first set and you want to unravel it, and get into wrapping really quickly and efficiently, what you do when you finish with the first time after you open them, you roll them backwards. So you roll from the Velcro first all the way in, and you roll it inwards. So to start off with the one hand, I'll do my right hand here. What you want to do is you want to take the loop and put it over your hand into your thumb. And when you have it in your thumb here, you want to make sure that this area right here, I don't know if you can really tell, that spot right there, that's on the inside, and that side is always touching your hand. That's the one that's facing towards your hand. Because as I unravel this from the way that I just told you that you should ravel it, at the end, then I'll be able to just lace it up, use the Velcro right away, instead of having to twist it all around and try and get the other side where the Velcro's at, because I did it backwards. So what you're going to want to do, you start off here, you always want to start on the top and finish on the bottom. So we'll start up here, we'll wrap around twice, 2 to 4 times. I normally like to wrap about 4 times, all the way down. I go about 1/3 of the way down my forearm before I come back up. So now I finish on the bottom, like I just said, and you always start on top. Now when I start on top, I'm gonna move over here towards the top of my knuckles, and I'm gonna go around my knuckles twice. 1 on the top, 2. You'll notice that my fingers are spread. The reason I'm doing that is because, like I said, when I close my hand, my knuckles will spread. So I don't want it to be really tight like this, and then only for me to close my hand and my knuckles expand and it to be tighter. So keep your fingers, everything open as wide as it can be the entire time you're working your hand wraps. So back to this. 2 times on top, finish on bottom, and when we finish on bottom, we finish down here under the thumb. So it's not under the thumb here, under the thumb down here where the bones are, close to the wrist. So we're gonna finish there, we're gonna use that and come up, and we're gonna go in between the fingers. So in between the fingers 1, we're gonna finish 1 on the bottom, like I said, and start anew on top. And you're always starting and finishing at the same area except for the last 2 parts of this. So we're gonna go around the top again, 1, 2. Making sure that the center of the wrap is covering the knuckles. Not that the top of the wrap here is covering the knuckles, but the center. So my knuckles are right there if you notice. So that's the second time, so I'm gonna finish on bottom again and start. And this time I'm gonna go back in between the fingers, finish on bottom. Now 2 times around the knuckles. 1, 2. Finish on bottom, come in between the knuckles again. Finish on bottom, start on top again, go around the top of the knuckles twice. 1, 2. Now that we're here, I can probably add one more since these are 180 inches. Now what I want to do is I want to go around my thumb just to lock it, because a lot of times people will have their thumbs bend backwards on them, which isn't very good. So you want to lock your thumb in as well. So keep that thumb spread out. You're going to stop it on the bottom, finish on bottom just like we have been on the rest of this, by the wrist. And we're going to come up around the thumb. We're going to tighten that up. And now we'll go and we'll make this look nice. And we'll finish going down around the wrist. 1, 2, 3. And so for this last one, what I like to do, I like to spin my wrist out, and then I spin my wrist in as I'm finishing it off, and it locks it a lot stronger. It's a really tight lock there on the wrist. There you go. Now when you look at this, you'll notice that it's really tight. Let's see if it'll focus in. So you'll notice that it's all really tight. It's not wrinkly in any ways. You want to keep it nice and smooth the entire time, making sure that you're pulling it smooth, that you're leaving it smooth. If you got lots of wrinkles and it's loose, then as time wears out, as time goes on while you're hitting the bags, it's going to wear off and it's not going to be that strong anymore. That's how you wrap your hands. And then same thing when you take it off. Like I said, you want to make sure that you roll it with the Velcro rolling towards the inside, and you roll it all the way through, and that's how you wrap your hands. Hope you enjoyed.